what do we say about this chaotic 1 hour's play that has happened?
I kind of expected it. I told you that it might not be the best of the decisions to bat first on a track that had been covered for 3 days, looked a lot damp, and New Zealand bowling first was definitely going to be an advantage.
It was going to be an advantage. So what has happened is after the first hour of play has ended in the first session on day 2 of the test between India and New Zealand, rain has come and it is quite dark and the rains is quite heavy also. The full
Yes.
covers are coming on and we had expected that rain will play a role in this test match, and boy, it has already started. And looking at the rest of the horizon that we have at the M Chinnaswamy Stadium, it doesn't look good. Now remember, rain is predicted on all the 5 days that is there, and unfortunately it is a really bad situation that you're seeing at this stage. Now,
Yeah.
the 3 wickets that fell, Rohit Sharma for 2, Virat Kohli for nil, and Sarfaraz Khan also fell very, very cheaply. Rohit undone by an in cutter from Tim Southee. 17 years of playing, Rohit Sharma has never ever managed to rectify that technical flaw of his. He's very lucky that he has not met bowlers who's exploited that technique flaw on a big basis. Virat, I mean, if you look at it, Will O'Rourke got a delivery to just come back and also climb from the wicket. The extra pace of O'Rourke. There was a leg gully in place and
Yeah.
he got the catch. Sarfaraz wanted to go for
Too
the
early onto that shot.
too early onto the shot, but what a fantastic catch from Devon Conway. And that ensured that India are currently 3 down. They could have been 4 down.
Yeah.
Who attempts a reverse scoop when your team is 3 down?
Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant. He was
None other.
very, very lucky that he did not glove it to the keeper or to the fielder there, because had that happened, lot of criticism would have come Rishabh Pant's way about the kind of shot, kind of situation. They would have called it brainless batting.
True.
Honestly, it would have if that had happened. So, luckily, Pant is still there. Yashasvi Jaiswal is there, but the early movement and the discipline that New Zealand has shown, that is commendable if you have to. And that is what sets them apart from Bangladesh, because Bangladesh can let the momentum slip sometimes. Maybe New Zealand will not do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I think it's New Zealand obviously currently in an advantageous position, but then we really have to give it to the likes of maybe Tim Southee here, because who was impeccable with his line and length, and in case of Matt Henry also, who could have gotten Rohit Sharma very early in the innings, because there was a decision wherein the bails were actually clipping. It was an umpire's call. It didn't really go Henry's way, but then he kept with his line and lengths, and same is the case with the young pacer that they have in Will O'Rourke. But then I think if we look at India's decision once again, let me just come back to it. Not really. I'm actually very surprised with India's decision to bat first here, because when you found that the conditions in Kanpur were helpful for the bowlers, that's when you chose to bowl first, and then obviously after a couple of days of rain, you were able to bundle them out for a very cheap score. But then in here, that it's a complete cloud cover, and still you've opted to bat first. A bold decision. Obviously, things could have been different. Also, India could have been 40 for no loss. When the rain arrived, things could have been completely different. But then, not really sure. What was the rationale behind batting first on this kind of a track, knowing that New Zealand have a pretty good pace bowling attack.
Maybe confidence, maybe knowing your home conditions better. I think the confidence that you would get by batting first. Okay, supposing if they were 33 for no loss
Yeah.
on these kind of situations, then I think New Zealand would have been deflated, because you had to
Absolutely.
get wickets in the first hour itself. But what happened? You look at it, one, the Rohit Sharma dismissal, technical deficiency. Virat, unfortunately, undone by a good rising delivery from O'Rourke. Sarfraz also, if you look at, he chipped it to mid off where Conway took the catch. So, combination of good discipline from New Zealand as well as good intent from them, and plus knowing how to play within their limits is what is, I think, helping New Zealand. They're not looking for extravagant movement. You won't look at Southee, Henry, and O'Rourke as extravagant movers of the ball in the on the. It can come off the pitch, it can come off the air. But Southee, very experienced, has got a good record in Bengaluru, for example, as Gulati pointed out, 7 wicket haul in 2012.
Yes.
And O'Rourke has been New Zealand's best pacer for the past 2 seasons. He got a 5 wicket haul even in Gaul.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you look at Henry's always hurt India for the past decade. In 2014, when he first, I think when he debuted, he got 4 wickets at Basin Reserve. Not Basin Reserve, Caketon, Wellington. Then 2019 ODI World Cup semi-final. So Henry
even has a 5 wicket haul in Kolkata. That was in 2016.
2016. So
Yes.
Henry knows how to trouble India on a consistent basis. But now looking at it, the full wicket is covered, third man and fine leg are covered. The rest of the outfield is not covered. That is because the subsurface aeration system will ensure that all the water is sucked out immediately. Whenever the rain stops, whenever the light improves, light improving is a different issue because there's a combination of rain and bad light. Now, with the rain, if it stops, and if the light is good, play will resume in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how good the subsurface aeration is. But we'll have a detailed discussion on what was the rationale behind Rohit Sharma actually opting to bat on a very tricky wicket and in slightly tougher conditions. We'll have a better debate on that once in the post-match when that happens. But let's take some comments, and I'm sure a lot of people are not happy about
Indian Cricket Forever has a comment that why not KL at 3 bad decisions. See, obviously it's one of the perspectives that you can look at from, but then I'm not really surprised with having Virat Kohli at number 3, primarily because he's obviously a senior most batter, and it's just one game. So just to make sure that you do not really have anyone from the likes of Sarfaraz Khan or KL Rahul bat at positions which they are not really used to on a consistent basis, it made sense to have someone like a Virat Kohli at number 3. And number 2, I think this is the first time, and I said it in the previous live also that we did this morning, that this is the first time that KL Rahul is getting a consistent run at a particular position in a test team. So just let him be there, let him be consistent there, because if it does not happen, had he been promoted to number 3 and he would have failed, then once again the talks of removing him from the side would have actually grown. So it makes sense. It's just for one game, and it just did not pay off.
And if you look at it for tough conditions, KL Rahul is the answer. I mean, he got a century in very tough conditions in Centurion.
Yeah.
So he could have been tried out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when you wanted the left right at that time, Pant was promoted in Chennai. But then in Kanpur, it changed. Kohli, for the first time, has been batting in 2 different positions. I mean, in Kanpur, I think he batted at number 5, if I'm not mistaken.
But that was because of the match scenario, because that way you wanted a certain Rishabh Pant to bat up the order, to bat ahead of Kohli, so as to make sure you get those quick runs.
Correct.
But then had it not been for rain, Kohli would have definitely batted at number 4.
Correct. So that is how it is.
Sports fan.
Somebody has read the pitch very wrong, choosing to bat first and playing 3 spinners here. Well, only time will tell. So far, the first hour has shown that might have been a bad decision. But what if India are suddenly at the end of the day, if you get any further play?
You're 233 for 3.
Or if you are 233 for 5.
Yeah.
I think you will take that.
True.
Let's wait for the whole day. But if India get bowled out for 88 or less than 100, then you can very well say that this criticism is justified. But we'll wait for that. So let's see how that happens. Sports fan, it seems you're playing in New Zealand and they're enjoying home conditions. Well, it does seem a lot like New Zealand. I mean, cloudy conditions, a bit of there's a bit of cool weather in the air, and also the pitch seems to have a lot of moisture. But yes, unlike New Zealand, where the pitches are a lot more greener, this one's a lot more browner. Then
Daniel M has an interesting comment that's mind games that New Zealand wanted to go first.
No, not really. When you make the toss, when you win the toss, you often say, oh, yeah, we also wanted to bat first, just to put India. He's kind of right in that, but I think the pitch looked good for batting. As I said, 3 technical flaws. I mean, Rohit dancing down the track when incoming delivery and getting bowled off the inside swing. Then Virat, I mean, you couldn't do anything about that delivery. Came back in, reared up, it hit him. Then Sarfaraz,
he only has himself to blame for that matter. So he cannot really say that Devon Conway took a blinder. Yes, definitely that was the case, but it was no need for him to play that shot. He could have waited for a while before going for it.
One last comment we'll take. Batting first and playing just 2 paces is the right call. KL is the best bet in this unit. Priyanshu saying, yep, could be, but now let us see whether the bowling composition works for India, because It all depends on the rain. Now, how much rain we are going to see, and if you have to look at the weather forecast for Bengaluru towards the afternoon period, actually is dodgy.
Yes,
So,
because there are thunderstorms predicted in the next couple of hours.
couple of hours. So that is the current situation we have. So not a good sign. I mean, come to think about it, similar situation in India were 15 for 5 in Ahmedabad
Yeah.
against New Zealand in 2010. But then they bounced back and they managed to draw the test match.
Second innings.
Yeah, Harbhajan Singh 100. Can
Yeah,
you believe
yeah.
it? The same match where Kane Williamson made his debut.
131.
So
Yes.
it is not looking good as far as the weather is concerned. The umbrellas are all, the brawlies as they say, are all up. Pitch covered. So third man fine leg is covered. The drainage system is doing its work, but for
It's
that,
not like heavy rain, but it's like
persistent
gentle
rain.
enough to make sure that players do not really come on the field.
Yeah. So let's see whenever we get the next update when play resumes. So let's see how India can cope up because again a break in momentum. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this update. We'll be back with more from Sports Today from me and Sid Gulati. More videos coming your way. Bye bye. See you soon.